If you guys are watching this video, it means we survived.
Great.
Things are looking bleak. Why would you not be having fun in this? This is really not good. I don't even know if I'm getting back up this, honestly. Ooh. Oh, hey, I almost didn't even see you there. I was too busy camping. Wait, no, it's not how it looks. Right, like I said, I'm definitely out here camping, and all this camping had me thinking about a time almost 6 months ago where Nina and I decided to go on our first moto-camping trip ever, and it was an absolute disaster. Which is why you guys have never seen the footage until now, but I figured it was time for the truth to come out and show you guys the reality, sometimes, of your first time moto-camping. It's not all glamorous. In fact, sometimes it's absolutely terrible.
This is the worst idea we've ever had.
But, of course, it always starts out sounding like a good idea with plenty of optimism, which is exactly how we started out before things took a drastic turn downhill and uphill. Yeah, this is bad. So let's set the scene and start things off with our two main characters, Birch and Nina, as they get ready to embark on what they think is about to be a glorious first moto-camping trip, which they just booked 4 days ago. And all of their new camping equipment didn't show up until yesterday and the day before. And they chose a very primitive, let's say, campsite versus something a bit more luxurious. But what could go wrong?
Whoa, I can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay, perfect. Then it is intro time. Welcome back to Life of Birch. I'm Birch, and this is my girlfriend Nina, aka Komodo Vlogs. And how long have we been talking about going moto camping now?
Like months.
I was gonna say like a freaking year. We've been talking about going moto camping ever since the idea was that she would be on the back of the Rebel 1100, and we would somehow go to like a campsite and stay in a cabin because we wouldn't have much room to pack. But things have changed, and now she's hitting his grom. Oh my gosh. And now, if you can't tell by the fact that her bike is loaded up also, we're finally going moto camping, but we're each going to be on our own bikes, which is a crazy thought to have. So the Rebel 1100 is loaded up with all the SW Motec stuff, including saddlebags and tank bag, and then the Burley brand Sissy Bar bag. And Nina's stuff is loaded up in the SW Motec as well, and the tank bag and Kemi Moto rear rack. And between all of this, we allegedly have shelter, food, and everything we need for the entire weekend.
It would appear that way.
But time will tell, because we have literally never done this before. If I sound frantic and hurried even more than I usually am, it's not because I've consumed extra caffeine, although I have. It is,
It's go time.
It's because it is go time, precisely. Where we're going isn't super far away. It should be about an hour-and-a-half ride and 40 or 50 miles, but it's the longest trip that Nina has ever done, let alone loaded up like this. And we should be getting there around 6:40-ish, and the once clear forecast is now saying thunderstorms for 3 hours starting at 8. Yes, you heard that correctly. We are also leaving extremely later than we wanted to, and the forecast originally said that the entire weekend was going to be about 70, 72 degrees and sunny the entire time, but the day of, it switched to saying something about mid-80s and a possibility of rain, which I'm sure you saw by the intro was a bit more than rain. We were still naively optimistic, but Nina did have an idea that looking back might not have been such a bad idea after all.
Does your dad still have hotel points?
Not for you. Okay, well, let's get on the road and I suppose check back in with the people once we get there.
Look, I want to show everybody. I have to get on, if you watch Itchy Boots, I have to get on like Itchy Boots where she does like this. And then she like...
Oh my gosh. I feel like I was going to say something else and I don't remember. Oh, if you guys are watching this video, it means we survived.
Great.
Okay, I love you, babe.
I love you.
And with that, our two naive little lovebirds set off on what turned out to actually be quite the beautiful hour-and-a-half ride there. As beautiful as the ride was, the closer they got to the campsite, the more apparent it became that the rain was definitely inevitable. Yeah, that's the rain rolling in for sure.
Yeah, I can smell it. I figure tent up first, get everything in the tent, we'll be fine.
Yep. My thing is looking and seeing that we're 11 minutes away, but then knowing, oh yeah, that's just to get to where we're going, and then you have to navigate the gravel.
If we have to leave my bike to go set up,
Maybe.
yeah, that's fine. Whatever we gotta do.
Oh,
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't think these are the kinds of roads we should be having conversation on.
Yep. See you when we get there.
Now in that moment, if they knew just how bad the storm was actually going to be, or the fact that lightning at one point would strike only 475 feet away from them, they probably would have taken up Nina's idea of getting a hotel, but thinking that it would just be a small rainstorm that they could easily weather inside the tent, they pressed on to the campsite in search of the mailbox that would mark the driveway they were looking for.
I believe those are the mailboxes, so I'm gonna come to a stop here and check. Oh my gosh, there's the water straight through there.
Okay, we need to...
What?
I just slid already.
And I'd say this is right about where the chaos started.
Okay guys, so we are here, and I don't think I mentioned at the beginning of this that after we booked the campsite that we're staying at, it said that it is a a gravel road, and said that it gets steep at times. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, slow and steady. Anyway, after we signed up for it, it said something about a gnarly gravel driveway that got steep and rocky enough at times that they said that some cars couldn't make it, and that if you need assistance with a four-wheel drive vehicle to bring you down to the campsite, to let them know. So this is the beginning of it. This is Nina's first time riding on gravel also, so I will shut up now since I don't know how to mute my Cardo so that she can focus.
Oh, sweetheart, you are in for a rude awakening. This is not the beginning of it. This is simply their driveway that leads up to the road that everybody mentioned in the reviews.
I gotta be honest though, babe, I can't go this slow. My bike can't. It'll bog down and get jumpy and jittery.
Just go.
Okay, over the hill, keep real nice and smooth on the rear brake. Stay loose and stay to the right. Hip camp check-in. We're pulling off to the left here. This is soft, so be careful. I would just stop right here. See, you're doing fine.
It got squirrely.
Now, if she thought that was squirrely, I can only assume that what I was about to do on the Rebel 1100, she would consider rabid raccoonish, maybe? I don't know. You get it? Raccoon, squirrel? Because like I said, this was nothing yet. Now, the place that we just stopped at is actually the check-in for the campsite. We got this campsite through a website called HipCamp. Think Airbnb, but for campsites. And the instructions said to stop at the barn to check in and get a map that would take us to the campsite. Needing a map to get to the campsite probably should have been our first hint, or second, or third hint that this was going to be chaotic, but to make matters even worse, there were no maps at the check-in site.
Okay, so this is where we check in. It says to grab a map. There's not a map.
Tried to call the person who owns the campsite. They didn't answer the phone, even though I called them a couple of times. So we decided to kind of look around on our own to figure out where we needed to go to get to the campsite.
Time to keep it pushing and figure it out. And those firewood bundles are big as hell, so there's no room on my bike until we empty. Oh, this is really f***ing loose, babe. Oh, sh**. I was gonna say, if you need to keep rolling until you're good to...
I'm gonna stop right here.
Okay, this says campsites right here.
And quickly we realized that this nice groomed gravel road that we were just on only led to another house and not the campsites. And instead we found the super rocky, steep hill that everybody talked about, and realized that that somehow led to the campsites, and realized that I had to go investigate.
I would say turn your bike off. I'm gonna go down here and assess the situation because I don't see you being able to get down here from the looks of it.
I don't either.
Oh, I don't even know if I'm getting back up this, honestly. Never mind, it's not as bad as I thought. You're definitely not doing this though, I'll tell you that right now. Let me get down here so I can figure out, oh my god, if it's something where I'm bringing your bike down, if we're leaving it in the barn, but we can't do this with you on the back of my bike, so I don't know what other option we have.
Alright, I'm losing signal, so.
Holy shit. And I'm pretty sure that was me losing connection with her. So let's go see if we can figure out where this campsite is and then come back and pick her up somehow. This is really not good. I'm just gonna have to turn around. This is much more camping than we realized that we would be camping.
Sometimes, when things get stressful, you just have to close your eyes and listen.
We are screwed. Those are some big rocks. Oh. Oh my God, I just almost dropped it. My foot just went in that hole. Oh. Yeah, this is bad. There's no way. There's no way. I have no idea how far down it is because there's no maps, but I don't even want to bring my bike back up this again. I don't know what the we're supposed to do, babe. The rain is coming. It's going to be dark in a half hour.
At this point, I guess you could say that panic is setting in and we are starting to realize the full gravity of the situation. Like you just heard, it is about to be dark in only 30 minutes and the rain is supposed to be there in, I think, 30 minutes to an hour. We have no way of getting to the campsite. We're still not even sure where the campsite is and we're an hour and a half away from home. So even if we turned around to go home, we would be riding straight through the storm. Thank God we did not decide to do that. But as we're trying to figure out what to do and honestly just taking a breather because it's like 85 degrees and 100% humidity, just absolutely dreadful, the campsite host calls me back and he was the nicest dude, super helpful, and actually was like, hey, you're on motorcycles? You obviously know how to ride. I got an ATV up at the house. Just go ahead and load your stuff up on the ATV and ride down to the campsite. Apparently the campsite was still about a half mile from where I went when I turned around, so it wasn't necessarily close, but it started to sound like that was really the only option, was just putting the bikes in the barn and somehow fitting all of our stuff and us on this guy's ATV and riding it down to the campsite. I pulled both our bikes into the barn for cover and then we started walking to go find the ATV, and as we were walking, that's when I checked the weather and found a bit of a surprise that would change things.
Oh, babe, it's gonna get bad. Yeah, no, we have to set up here. I'm gonna show the people at the same time I show you. So it's 7:29 right now. It's dark in, what, 20 minutes? This is 9:36.
Okay, we're setting up a night.
And I'd say that's when the panic truly set in. If it wasn't set in before, it had set in now. We looked at the radar and we could see the eye of the storm going right over us. Now at this point, we honestly still didn't know how bad it was gonna be. We thought it was still just gonna be like some heavy rain that our tent could hold up to. So we decided to set up the tent next to the barn instead of trying to get down to the campsite, because the campsite owner had already said that if we need to, we can set up the tent next to the barn or inside the barn, whatever we wanna do. So we started setting up the tent outside of the barn because it was so freaking hot that we needed the airflow outside the barn. There was no airflow inside of it. So we started setting up the tent, which honestly took a little bit longer than it should have because it was the first time we had ever set it up. So by the time that we were done, it was already dark out. At that point, we decided to use our new jet boil and our camping meals to make some dinner to hopefully raise spirits. And I'll let you be the judge of how our spirits were in that moment.
Headlamps, whoever said that was a good idea for camping is a idiot. All the bugs are just swarming my face. Okay. Tonight's course, chicken and dumplings, so that we don't hate our lives so much. Yay! I don't know how high up to turn it.
That sounds high.
Look at this, the water's already moving. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
Already boiling, and now apparently you... add it to that, stir it up, then you zip it up, and then the whole 5 minutes that you wait until you stir it the next time, you sit here thinking about how you didn't bring any bowls.
We really suck at this.
Why does this actually smell good though?
Really?
Yeah,
I can't smell it yet.
the bears can.
Don't say that.
The grand reveal. Actually kind of looks like it slaps.
Really? Let me zoom in. It just looks like like chicken pot pie.
It's probably gonna be really hot, huh?
Yeah.
Will this make me hate everything about my life even more if I burn myself?
So much more.
Yeah, that was good. And this is the beginnings of my beef stew.
This is the worst idea we've ever had.
If this video ever sees the light of day, who knows, maybe this is us just venting for our own sake, but never in our lives have we ever realized so quickly that something is not for us. We're sitting in a hot, funky ass tent with, I mean, your dumplings are pretty good. Some nasty looking beef stew. All of our shit is in the barn. I can't wait to show you the footage of me coming up that hill though. I don't know how I didn't drop the bike.
I was watching and hearing you on the comm system because it connected back and it was scary hearing it.
Yep, yeah. This is terrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we immediately have realized that camping like this on a motorcycle is not for us.
No.
It would be cool to go to like a cabin or something like that. We just went all in.
Yeah, totally.
I don't know what the point of filming this was. See you guys.
Bye.
And just when we thought that things couldn't get any worse,
Right after I just filmed that thing saying how miserable we are, the thunder's starting, so we're gonna move the tent into the barn.
Seconds later.
Current situation, things are looking bleak. If you can see your face, so you're not having fun? That's crazy. Why would you not be having fun in this? Oh. Okay.
no footage that I have does any justice to how gnarly that storm was. It is honestly the craziest storm I have ever been in my life, and being inside of the barn made it just so much scarier, honestly. The thing had a tin roof, so you could just hear all of the branches hitting it, all the big raindrops hitting it, just heavy, heavy rain, and then stop, which was super creepy. And the rain is here. Got the tent inside. It's really creepy how it just starts up like that and then stops. And the whole time we're looking at the radar and seeing that all this bright lightning that we're seeing is that bright because it's literally striking all around us. To say that we were miserable at this point would be a vast understatement. Inside this barn there was no airflow, so we're just baking in our own sweat. Everything is dusty, so we're breathing in and we're just getting mud in our noses. Eventually the storm started to fade out to just rain, and we were able to fall asleep super late at night and get what was probably the worst sleep either of us have ever got. And then we ended up waking up at like 6 o'clock in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning. And if you know anything about me, that is insane. I wake up at like 9 or 10 a.m. every day. Waking up at 6 or 7 just kicks my ass. But we really didn't have any choice because by that point, it was an absolute sauna inside of the tent. So I sat up and I went to make some coffee and a French press, which ended up being absolutely terrible. Checked the weather and saw that it was now supposed to rain later that day also. So the choice was clear. We had to pack up everything all over again and head home. So we got both bikes loaded up and pulled out of the barn, and honestly at that point Nina was just too shaken up and tired to want to ride her bike back up that gravel driveway, and everything had washed out from the rain. It was a disaster. So I rode my bike all the way up to the top of the driveway and then ran back down, which is hilarious seeing in the GoPro now. Ran back down to her Rebel 300, and then I rode that back up to the top of the driveway while she walked up to her bike behind me. We are absolutely beat and battered, and just got out of there and got home as quickly as we could. You ready? I love you.
You got this.
And we did stop about 15 minutes from home for a little brain break and just, I don't know, something to make us not want to frickin' kill ourselves. And we stopped for a nice little Irish breakfast, checked out this place that had chickens, a little farm, whatever.
They're running away.
Look at all those chickens.
Got home and we both absolutely crashed for the rest of the day and just laid around and napped and recovered.
We made it.
So yeah, it was an absolute show. But as the saying goes, you learn more lessons from your failures than you do your successes, and we did learn a lot from this trip. Probably stuff that we didn't want to learn, but we did learn a lot. We're gonna use all these lessons learned to do a lot more trips this year, a few of which definitely being moto-camping again, but hopefully better this time. So make sure to subscribe to both of our channels so you don't miss out on all of that. And thank you to the Patreon members for making all of this possible. Could not be doing it without you. Catch you on the next one. Love you guys. Peace.
Oh, so basic. Hope you play this. Damn, I prayed it. Nice song, and I became this. Old souls fake it. Pay those placements. Fuck shit. And I'm still waiting on the brighter day. It's been a minute, been rough many times more. And I'm kicking rocks to a sky of gray. Praying hard, talk to me before I'm done for.
Get the f out of here.